What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration, and on the last video I alluded to our project has showed it back up, and that is the crew cab square body pickup that we bought. We're gonna do a build, but it sold before we got to, but like I said, it came back and we're gonna do not a complete build, but we're at least gonna get it running and driving with a 6-liter. So he did, as you can see, strip a bunch of the white paint off, and we'll walk up front here real quick. Everything's blackened out. The old small block is now out. It does have a 4L80E trans in, which was original on this truck. This is a 91. That was the first year for the 4L80E, and it is a GM reman unit. So we threw a new converter in. I put a new front seal in. We're going to use that, and we also have a new set of clamshell engine mounts on the frame. Like I said, everything's blackened out, everything's kind of tied back. We're getting ready to drop a 6-liter in, which is outside, and we'll get to that in a second. But one thing you guys might not know, if you did enough LS swaps, you will know, you can use these old bell housings. So the old small block, big block bell housings do fit on a LS swaps vehicle. They do not have the top bolt hole that an LS would, and this hole right here is not used on an LS block unless it's like an LSX block, and then it possibly could be drilled and tapped there. But your production LS engines do not use this bolt hole here, so we'll move that. And unfortunately, on the old small blocks, big blocks, automatics, that's where they attach the transmission dipstick tube to that bolt. So I just took an old header bolt, fit through there. There is a, it's gonna be hard to see, I'm just gonna describe it here, but in that bolt hole through the transmission and the bell housing, there is a step in there so you can slip a header bolt. Works really nice. It's a 3/8 thread, and it's got a washer built into it. Slipped it through there, it catches the next step inside that bell housing. We were able to spin a nut on the back side there, tighten that up, nice and secure. It does, you double check your fitment. This one protruded a tiny bit past the bell housing, which isn't good, so I just sanded that off smooth. And once we tighten the engine block up against the bell housing, it'll keep that in there. It won't be able to slide out if you happen to take the nut off the backside to get the dipstick tube out. Anyway, kind of a long-winded version of how to do that. ICP, I believe, does make a bracket for that goes up and bolts to the back of the LS head, but this is a quick, easy way to firmly attach your dipstick tube. So let's get outside and we'll take a look at the 6-liter that's going in this. So here is the 6-liter that's going in. You guys might remember this. I did a freshen up video, pressure wash, cleaned this thing up, sanded it down, painted it, resealed it, and it's been chilling in the garage waiting for the truck to come back, and now it's time to go in. So let's get the truck outside. We'll get this to drop in, get some bolts in, and get it back inside the shop to finish it up because it's quite chilly today. And we're outside. We have our bolts here. These are the motor mount bolts that are going to go through here. We have some new ones, and we have some bell housing bolts. I just picked up some new metric thread engine mount bolts, and pretty simple. There's not a whole lot in the way. We'll have to watch these lines, but we're going to try and drop it straight down, line up the bell housing bolts, get a couple bolts started, and then line up these engine mounts and get these slid in, and then we can get the truck back inside where it's nice and warm. All right, we have the engine kind of lined up over top, and when you work by yourself, this engine wants to keep swinging, so we have a bungee strap just kind of centering that engine so it doesn't twist on us, and we're going to slowly lower that down and keep configuring our setup here so we can get this stuff lined up. And there we go, 6-liter is in the crew cab, and it fit pretty nice. A little bit of prying and twisting here and there, but it would have been a lot easier and quicker with 2 people, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's in there. Let's get back inside and we'll start test fitting headers, and we got a couple different set of headers we're going to try and make work or see what fits in this chassis. I wasn't really sure yet, so we'll get those tests fit, and then we'll go ahead, and nothing's tight yet, so we got to go ahead and tighten everything back up, and then we can start putting accessories on and fitting stuff, and we have a fuel system on its way also. So let's get back inside and get this thing started and done. Time to test fit a couple different set of headers here. As you can see, we're ready for that. We have this set I've had sitting around for a little bit. They're nice, shorty, kind of mid-length. Not, yeah, I don't know what you classify these. They're kind of in between a shorty and a mid-length header. They're not the direct bolt-on. They do have a V-band collector on there. So we're going to test fit these and see how these work. And I also have this set of long tubes while we're right here. We'll try them also. As you can see, this side actually fits really nice with these headers. It's slid back a little bit. If we slip it back up on, good clearance everywhere. And on this side, same thing, actually a little bit better clearance. So right there is where it needs to go, and fits really nice down through there. This is probably the set we're going to use because it's, you know, this isn't a extreme performance build. It's just a stock 6-liter. And I think these will work fine for it, but we are gonna test fit the other set of headers I have, and just see. This perfect opportunity. There's not too many times you have a square body truck in the shop with a 6-liter or any LS sitting there, nothing in the way, so we can just drop as many sets of headers in and test fit as we can. All right, so the long tubes, this side, I started having issues getting it through. No big surprise. The long tube's a little bit harder to get through that area. This one I think would come through, but I'd have to get underneath and really kind of massage it through that opening. But I figured if this side was being slightly difficult, let's go ahead and check this side, because if this side doesn't work, we're not using them anyway. So this side fit through the hole a little bit easier, but we do have an issue. I have a bolt up here, and as I try to pull this up, this tube that kind of comes up and down actually hits the firewall right in that area, and the header still needs to come up a little bit. So these, even though they're not bad, you could probably massage the firewall there a little bit if you really wanted to run these, but we're not. The shorty, mid-length shorty headers fit really nice, so that's what we're going to go with. We do have one more set I want to try on this truck just to see. Like I said, since we're right here and working on it, I have a set of Texas Speed, the 99 to 07, 06, 07 Chevy truck headers. I'm going to grab them and just see how they fit. Who knows, that might be a perfect fit for this chassis. And here's that set of headers. They're very nice looking, but will they fit? So let's go ahead and slip it in there and we'll know in 2 seconds. And the short answer to that question is, here's the driver's side, is no, they don't. So this area right here is kind of too straight. It would need to be kicked a little bit more like that to fit. It hits the frame rail on that side, and kind of same deal on this side. I could probably get that one to go up through, but again, once I started struggling on this side, I went to the other side, and again, it does not fit. So enough wasting time. Let's get these mid-length shorty headers on there. We'll get the gaskets on there. I always use the multi-layer one, like the GM factory ones. They seal up really good always, as long as you have all your bolts, and all of them are clean on this one. So let's go ahead and get these headers on, and then we'll start moving on to the next step here. Actually, I lied. I couldn't resist but check one more set, and this is like a turbo header. It don't have to be a turbo header. You could do front exit exhaust out of the fender or whatever you want. They're just up and forward. And they fit this chassis with no issues at all, even on the driver's side here. Yeah, fits really, really nice actually. No, steering linkage isn't in the way at all. I think the power steering will actually be down. Shouldn't have any issues with that, but again, we're going to use the shorties that we had on here, and let's get it done. All right, we got some stuff done. I set the intake back on just to see how everything looks. Everything looks really good.